Hi, this is Robert Rapier from R Squared, and this is episode 3 of R Squared Energy TV. This week's episode deals with the subject of due diligence and political leaders and their attitudes on energy policy. So the first question is, what do you think of Joule Unlimited? This is a question I'll get 3 to 5 times a week, someone asking about a particular company and about the possibility that their technology can solve our energy problems or contribute to solving our energy problems. Usually I try to be careful with the way I answer this question, because in order to give a really good answer I have to dig, and the most important thing I could do is call the company up and ask them some specific questions. And so with the rate of inquiries that I get on these, I just try to tell the person asking, look, here's some of the questions you should ask. If I understand the technology, I'll say yes, that is technically possible. But really what you want to know in every case is, what has this company actually demonstrated? So if I hear a claim and I'm really interested in the technology, I will get on the phone and I will find out what has been demonstrated with this technology. Now, a good example, recently a colleague called me up and he said, I just saw a presentation from a company who said that they have 5 plants that have been built, and it's in an area that we follow pretty closely. And I was very surprised because I would have thought that we would have heard of this company and knew about these plants. And I asked, are you sure that they actually have plants? He said, yes. The guy got up and he gave a presentation and said they have 5 operating plants. And so I contacted the person and I asked specifically, what are you making and where is it going and how much are you making? And the answer I got back was surprising. The answer was, we don't actually have plants, we have development plans. So here's a person who got up in front of people and presented that they have actual plants when it's only plans that they want to develop. And they were looking for investors. This is very, very common. And it's hard to tell sometimes when a company makes a press release if they really have something or if they only hope they have something if they get enough money to actually go out and do it. So ask that question. What have you demonstrated? How long? All those important questions. At what scale? And then try to corroborate that with someone else, because you still may be lied to, but if you can cross-check, that eliminates the possibility or minimizes the possibility that you will be scammed. So second question, who are good politicians on energy policy? The problem with politics and energy is each major political party has part of the equation right and part of the equation wrong. So on the Republican side, and major political parties in the U.S., I should say, on the Republican side, Republicans generally understand the importance of having a strong domestic oil industry because they understand that oil is essentially the lifeblood of the economy. And they understand the importance of that, and so they are more prone to supporting legislation to keep our domestic oil industry strong. On the other hand, they tend to overestimate how much it can contribute toward our energy independence, and so they discount investing in alternative energy and in conservation measures. They don't put as much emphasis on that. Democrats, on the other hand, understand the need to get away from oil, but they usually overestimate how much of a contribution renewables can make in a short amount of time, and therefore they are more hostile to domestic oil companies because they feel like we don't need them or they're optional. And so each party has a piece of the puzzle, and each party misses a piece of the puzzle. So politicians that would be good politicians on energy policy are those who understand both the importance that oil provides to the economy and the fact that we have to get off of it because it's a depleting resource. Some specific politicians who I think understand the resource depletion issue. One is Congressman Al Bartlett from Maryland. He has given talks on the floor of the House about the importance of getting off energy and developing alternatives and really having a plan for addressing oil depletion. Another is former Huntington Beach, California Mayor Debbie Cook. She's given a lot of speeches on peak oil, understands the issue. And then another guy that I've encountered is Connecticut State Representative Terry Backer. And he's also someone that I've met at the peak oil conferences, and he understands the issue and has gone out and talked about the need to move away from oil. Third question, on the flip side, who are the worst politicians as regards to energy policy? The worst politicians are the ones who pander or who use energy policy as a political tool to score points. I think those guys are doing a disservice to Americans. They're the ones who don't acknowledge the reason that we're so dependent on oil, or they think the reason is something other than what it is, which is simply we lack the things that oil provides us. Some of the guys that I've given a hard time over the years, Ed Markey, Chuck Schumer, these are guys who talk about the need to combat global warming, and then at the same time they want to go out and they want to access oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to lower oil prices. So it doesn't seem like they understand that lowering oil prices will contribute to higher demand and will contribute to higher greenhouse gas emissions. So I wonder if those guys get it or they're just simply pandering to the public. But these are guys that I think don't really get it with regards to energy. So those are 3 questions this week. Tune in next week's episode. Had an interesting question about the books over my shoulder, and I will talk about some of those books that you see back there. Tune in next week. Thank you.